So it's been a while, but now we're back with 25NL Zoom, play and explain. And I just had my first interesting hand just before I went on stream, so I can show you this one. So it's down here. I defended a little tiny bit loose, queen 5 suited against a 2.2x open from under the gun, and then I flopped a flush draw. It went check check. I hit the flush on the turn, then I went with a 3/4 bet, and then I overbet the river. I got called by queen 10. And here I opened, and we have a gut shot with one overcard. We get called. Now, can we bet again? I think there's a chance that he has a queen. I will just check. And now, obviously, when the king comes on the river, I'm definitely going to bet. Question is how big. I think I can go get away with something like 8.6 here and still get called by a queen, or maybe pocket jacks or tens if he called, something like that. Maybe even a 9 will call there. So yeah, the small blind called. Ooh, well, okay, now he is raising. That's interesting. I mean, I don't really know what he's wrapping here, but let me see what I have right. Okay, he raised to 6 big blind ones. I think this is probably still quite something nutted, unfortunately, so I will have to fold. I mean, we only have a bluff catcher and we just got check raised by someone who I label a fish. So I do not want to call there. I almost potted it. So yeah, that was an interesting start that we just had. Okay, here pocket nines on the right table. So yeah, this is 25 NL. We have a limper. I am going to isolate this one quite big. Also, this guy didn't start the hand with a full stack. Okay, we should have a pretty good hand here with this overpair, even though it's just about an overpair. Well, we get the fold anyway, so that's fine. Yeah, so 25 NL Zoom on Pokerstars. I haven't done any of these in a while because I was away, and I actually haven't played any poker for a full month now. And let's see how rusty I actually am. But I'm trying to get into this again. In fact, I'm going away for another week, but after that, I'm planning to do these a bit more regularly. Also, more recently, I've been concentrating on my other channel, the Live Poker Guide. Check that one out if you don't know it yet. There I have a lot of educational videos about live poker. So if you play live poker, definitely check that one out. But here we are playing online poker, and I am planning to do a few other stakes as well and some more training sessions. Here on the left, I am going to 3-bet my pocket nines on the button against cutoff. King 4 off is definitely a fold against an under the gun raise. It's actually a fold against anything and everything. Queen 10 suited. Ooh, this is a big raise, 3.4x. I would normally have 3-bet this against a normal raise size, but I'm trying to be price sensitive, so because it's a 3.4x raise, I will fold there in the small blind, because the hand is not that amazing anyway. So if you 3-bet there, you don't really do it for value, because it's hard to get called by anything worse if you have queen 10 suited. And if he makes it 3.4x pre-flop, then it becomes even less likely that it's great to put a lot of money in there. Okay, here now we have a 2.5x raise, so now I will not call with queen 5 suited. Again, price sensitivity. I think this is the motto of the day today, so I have done quite a bit of research in that, and I got videos coming up for my other channel as well. Oh look, this guy makes it 3.4x again. We have ace 8 suited. This is borderline, but because it's a suited ace, I will just about call it. We flop top pair and a nut flush draw. That's a pretty good flop for us, but he pots it again, which I'm not happy about, but obviously nothing else to do than to call once again. And let's see what he does now. Is he going to bet big once again? Yeah, look at that. He just pots it again. The question is, can we extract any value out of him if we hit? And I think we just have to call. Without the pair, I wouldn't call. Not that I think that the pair is good, but okay, so this is not great. I don't want to turn this one into a bluff, so I will just check fold most likely. And wow, he had ace 9. Wow, look at this. He potted it twice with ace 9 on ace king 6 10. That is very interesting. So we can say that he is not amazing. Pocket deuce I will fold. So potted. Okay, here we can raise this one. Potted flop and turn with just getting. Okay, here I am just going to c-bet small with, what did he have? Ace 9 on ace king 6 10 flush draw. Okay, so back to this now. We got called. We can actually just check now, and with a 6 coming in, if he bets, I'll have to think about it. If he checks, okay, he does bet, and he bets big. We do block flush draws, but he shouldn't do that with many flush draws anyway. He seems quite on the aggressive side, which is why I am tempted to call with my ace high, just because it is quite aggressive. But he could, of course, have, but because he makes it so big, I think I want to call, and yeah, he had the missed flush draw. So that was a nice call down there. And now we have pocket queens against an early position raise. We are going to 3-bet this one. And here we are going to start with a check on the left. And he checks behind. We have king high. We have a gut shot, but I am still going to check again against this recreational player. And on this river, I don't think we can get called by anything worse. Oh, here it's quite interesting. I will isolate this one. But although I'm up against 2 short stacks, which is absolutely not ideal. Okay, yeah, well, this is what I got myself into now here on the right, and I just have to fold, obviously, against this half pot bet. I just want to see how it develops. We would have even had a flush draw. Here on the left, we obviously open pocket kings. Well, I would have gotten there maybe in the end. So we're getting 3-bet, which is quite nice. And we are going to 4-bet, of course. Don't need to make it too big. 22.5 is fine. I don't have much info there on him. King Jack here on the button is just a fold. And let's see what develops. So he does fold in the end. Here a6 is very close. Against 2.4x I will just call. And if he c-bets, I would have folded, but we got a free card, which is not much help. We still have ace high though. Here we are getting 3-bet. This is definitely a fold. And once again, with ace high, there is no point in betting. We wouldn't accomplish anything. And you got there on the river. Fair enough. So yeah, it's 8-7. And we just got outdrawn, but that is okay. Ace 8 suited, again, it's a very close one, but I'm going to 3-bet because I just want to try to 3-bet more in these games. We get called on ace 5 deuce. This is not a range bet in cash games. For 5 we can fold. We are going to check ace 5 deuce, and I am going to check this again. I don't think we can get a lot of value out of these, so I am going to check once again. And now that we have 2 pair, now we can go for some value. If the thing is, like, I don't think I will get a lot of value, but I still have to kind of overbet this with 2 pair. Maybe he does have, well, snap fold, he didn't have anything, but I thought maybe he did have an ace there. Ace 9 suited, we can squeeze here. Happy to squeeze. Here we can go for the 3/4 bet on this board. That's fine too. Okay, ace 5-5. This now is a range bet, and I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller. And if we get called, that's fine. Now there is no point in betting again, is there? Actually, would he call with something like jacks or tens or so? Yeah, I can get. Well, I'll check this one. Yeah. And if he checks again, I mean, he can still have a lot of ace-x, and I don't want to reopen the action against him here, although I think it's probably just pocket sixes, 8, something like that. Here we can check, and here we can check as well, and he has pocket tens, yeah. So that's kind of what I thought. That's why I considered betting the turn there. Okay, now we can just try to get this one. This is if I had something like ace queen or so, I would bet here. And if he has a pocket pair, if he doesn't have an ace, I would expect him to fold. But look at this. He has ace 8 offsuit. So he called the button with ace 8 offsuit. Obviously, I don't expect him to fold that, but I also don't expect him to have that hand. So this is actually a very weak player if he does that. So we can say called EP raise with ace 8 offsuit. Here I am going to isolate this one quite big. This is an absolutely terrible flop. On the left, if you have tens, ace, queen, jack is not exactly what you want to see. Check. Okay, here we can. I think he would make more mistakes by me checking, and he bets really small. That doesn't look like he's got a big hand, but fair enough. We will call and check again. Now he bets bigger, which is a little bit unsettling, but it's only half pot. Definitely calling. And now the thing is, an ace has a straight. Don't know if he can see that though. That's a problem. He might still be merging here with something like pocket sevens. But he goes all in. Well, whatever he has, he probably has me beat. Like, no reason to call an all in there. If all I have is a bluff catcher, second pair. Right, so on this one here, ace-8 offsuit, hopefully you understand why this is such a terrible call there. Because I raised under the gun and then he called on the button with ace-8 offsuit. Obviously, then in the end he got there. I mean, he was there all the time because I had king high and he had ace high. Here against two big blinds, we can definitely call our pocket threes. And this is just a lazy c-bet, I think, half pot. I am going to just go quite small with the raise, but he called very quickly, which means he probably has something there. So I think that means that I will want to give up. Yeah, I mean, if he has anything, then we are toast. But I don't think we can get him to fold. I mean, he could still have ace king or so. Yeah, well, okay, he had king jack, so yeah, top pair. In this case, it didn't go too well. But I still think check raising pocket threes there is actually a good play. Here, okay, what is this? I mean, why does he donk really small? That's like really a very donkey play. I am go. Oh god, now look at this. Now I min raised him. I wanted to go 6 big blinds, but by this min raise he already folds. But maybe he got scared by that. But he probably still didn't have anything. So there are quite a few players here that don't seem to be the biggest crushers in the pool. So this guy donked 1 BB. Gosh, this is going fast. I can barely write anything. Donk 1 BB on ace queen X. Ace queen 5. King jack here. We could raise, but against someone who's shaping up to be quite loose, I don't want to do that. Not because I think he has a stronger range than me, not at all, but because I think I can't get many folds, and then even if I am in position, king jack offsuit is not that amazing. So that was the reason. We get ace king through here. Queen 10 offsuit. This is something a lot of players will do wrong. They will just call here because they're thinking they're getting great odds, but this is actually a terrible call. Queen 10 suited is a different story, but Queen 10 offsuit 3 ways out of position, even if you're getting a good price, that is absolutely not the way to go. Ace queen suited, however, this will be a nice squeeze here. Ace 9 off, we can easily fold. And let's see, this guy is super tight, so if he 4-bets us, this would be a fold, which he doesn't do. On this board, I think I do want to go fairly big, but not that big, so I would go half pot because I have all the aces, kings, queens, and he shouldn't have a lot of those. He will have some here. I'm going to 3-bet. Okay, he did call, so once he calls, I'm pretty sure that we are behind. The question is, can we fold off? Can we get him to fold a hand like tens or jacks? And I just don't think he will do that. Like, it's not terrible to triple barrel this one, to go something like 23 or so now and then jam the river, but I don't think that that would really help. Now at least we would be chopping with ace king in case he called that, but I still think he has an overpair most of the time, and I do not think that he will fold an overpair. Oh, he had the same hand as we do. Okay, well, he should definitely have folded. Look at this. This is another one of those. I made it half pot on the turn, and he definitely has to fold that. He doesn't even have backdoors with ace queen of spades on 7-8-7 with no spade. That is a fold, so he actually made a mistake there on the flop by calling that, but that is fine for us. So yeah, guys, if you have any questions, fire them away. If something's going too quickly for you, for example, here I folded Queen Jack offsuit under the gun. If you are someone who opens that, then I can tell you that is slightly too loose. In the next position, you can maybe do it, but not in this one. And here we have another limper, but ace-5 offsuit is not a hand I would like to isolate with. So we just fold. Pocket kings, that's a hand we will open. And on the right side we have ace, king. Okay, this is a flop that's not amazing for us. I mean, for our hand it's quite good. Here on the right, sorry, I'm going to 3-bet ace, king, obviously. And we take it down. Yeah, so with our hand, because we have the king of clubs, we can bet there, otherwise we wouldn't have had to. If I had had aces with the ace of clubs, I would probably just have checked in that spot. With the king of clubs, you can still check, but it's just that those three aces that are the non-club ace that could come on the turn that are not great, which is why I prefer to just c-bet small there, and we can still get called by a lot of hands. Pocket jacks, everyone's favorite hand. Let's open this one. We are getting 3-bet, so at this point you can 4-bet, you can... Yeah, I think we have to 4-bet this one because it is button versus small blind. So this is in theory a hand we can go all in with, but I don't think I would necessarily want that. Here I am going to 3-bet on this side. Here we can go with, oh yeah, we 4-bet, so I'm just going to c-bet small. Here I am going to c-bet on the large side on 3, 4, 5. No one should have any sets, which means that we have the big nut advantage because we have aces, kings, queens. He doesn't have kings and queens, at least in theory he doesn't, or maybe some queens, no kings, and some aces, whereas we have all of them, and he obviously has a lot of unpaired hands that he can't call to such a big bet. Here, ace-5 suited, and the big blind is just a call. This is a pretty good hand for us. We can now consider to check raise if he bets. He does not. We hit the ace, which is great, but I don't see a reason to bet there. We can call king 9. We have top pair, top kicker, which means that we should be able to, or we should bet. He now bets half pot, definitely calling, no reason to raise at all. And when the deuce comes in, unfortunately we don't make our flush, but now he overbets it, which is not a good sign here on the right if you're folding this. Okay, what bluffs does he have when he bets half pot on the turn? Like, I don't think he has a flush draw, plus we block flush draws, and I think he probably has a good hand. I don't really see what bluffs he should have unless it's just like a complete airball, so happy to fold this one to such a big bet. Here, Queen 6 suited, this is another one that a lot of players would call here. Just the one big blind to win 7 against 2 recreational players. Well, yes, but your hand is absolutely terrible. King Queen off also folding, and yeah, here we wouldn't have flopped much anyway. But yeah, this is something that I used to do, and I think a lot of players do. And if you are someone who does that, then you really need to brush up on the pre-flop skills, because the thing is, you have to call very tight in multi-way pots. So generally, people think that you have to play quite a loose strategy when everyone else is loose and when a lot of people call because you're getting great pot odds, but you have to consider that equity is only 100% no matter how many players there are. So here I am on the right, I'm going to 3-bet, and here I'm also going to 3-bet. Yeah, so that's why you have to be very, very tight with your overcalling. Here, this one I am going to c-bet small because I think I can get a lot of folds for hands like king queen, king jack, and so on. Now I still think I can get him to fold. I am going to go with 19. No, it's too much. 17.5 big blinds because I can still get him to fold under pairs. So yep, we do get the fold. Because the thing is, like on a board like ace ace 8 in a 3-bet pot especially, if I just c-bet small there, which I did, a range bet, if you have pocket 7s, if you have pocket 10s, pocket jacks, pocket queens, you have to call there. But once you then face another bet on the turn, then you have to let go of a lot of those. And that is why I double barreled in that spot. Well, we're getting a lot of pocket kings here. Haven't really had that much luck with them. 10-9 is just about a raise there. Let's see. Oh, that is a very nice one to get shoved on, and I am going to call, but I'm just waiting, taking my time, because maybe banger will also flick in the call, which it doesn't do, and we're up against ace queen. So we like to see that. And there's the ace. Okay, and we're running it twice, and there's the king. Okay, well, we split at least. We didn't lose it, but we got it in good anyway, so that's all that matters. Okay, 10-8 offsuit would just about be a raise. It would normally mix, but we have a tight big blind, a not so tight small blind. Overall, I still think that that's okay to just raise that. And we get the fold. On the right table, let's see what this guy does. Okay, and under the gun call, so this is definitely not going to isolate because I am busy raising my pocket aces. And 6 deuce, I mean, if he makes it so small, and this is a recreational player. Here I am going to c-bet small. 6 deuce is a very, very loose open. Okay, he now raises us, which is not great, but we have to call for sure. Ace 10, we are going to continue. So he could have a flush draw here, he could have a set, but if he has a set, I think I am going to go broke. Maybe not broke, but we'll see. Here we can go quite big. And now the flush comes in, so I think we cannot get any value here, can we? I mean, ace king or something like that, maybe, but I think he will have a set way too often. Oh no, he did have ace king. Okay, look at that. Here I want to just raise when he donks one big blind into 9. And now we have the nuts, which is always very nice to see. He does the same game again. Well, I am now going to raise to 11. And this time he folds. Yeah, so with the pocket aces here, did I make a mistake? I just assumed that he, but maybe he, even if the flush comes in, he might still triple barrel. I think there was a mistake actually. This is a hand I need to review. Jack, check. Okay, so here I want to mark this one for review because he check raised with ace king on king 10 5, which I'm not sure he should do anyway. Can we do anything here? I am not going to. And then he bet big on the turn, which I think was a bit of overplay as well. Here on the left now that the ace comes, we can't do much. Just check fold if he bets. Well, actually, I'll think about it, but definitely starting with a check. Okay, he goes one big blind. This is like really annoying because we're getting 6-1 and he probably has some weak hand. I don't think he would reopen it with anything else, but then again, I have king high. Like, does he have anything that we could ever beat here? Did he do it with king 10? No. I can't check raise. This is not believable. Here I am going to c-bet, and here I am going to just fold, even though it looks silly, but I just don't think he would reopen the action with anything less than like a pair, even though he just absolutely shouldn't bet one big blind into 5 with a hand, with any hand really. But yeah, so we're here with the aces. I do think that I made a mistake. Here I'm just going to cold call this 3 big blind bet. He checks behind fairly quickly, and again, and I think now I can. Well, we have ace now. We can just check. I don't think. Oh, he mucked. What did he have? He had king 10. Okay, maybe I should have gone for a little bit of value there on the river. But yeah, the hand with the aces, I think the guy with ace king definitely overplayed his ace king there. And then I kind of got scared because he seemed so strong on the flop and the turn, and then he checked the river when the flush came in. And so I decided to not go for the value bet on the river, but I think it's actually a mistake because if he, especially now that I know that he does that with ace king, then he will most likely be the kind of person, and I think that would be right actually, to go for full value, to go all in with a set there, even though the flush comes in, because a hand like pocket aces, especially if I had had the ace of hearts, then I could still have called there, and because of that, I think that that I should have bet, because then it's unlikely that he has a set, and if he doesn't have a set, he can't really have two pair, and then basically a king is the best that he could have. But I don't think it was a massive mistake the way I played the hand. Okay, Queen Jack, again folding here. Well, we're doing alright so far, I cannot complain. Been running fairly decent, that helps. King 10 off is just about, you could open it in that position, but I prefer to not open it there. And here we're getting 3-bet, obviously folding, king 8 offsuit. Don't start to level yourself into some raising wars and leveling wars where you think you have to 4-bet these hands sometimes. just fold if you have such a weak hand. Here, pocket deuce is definitely a fold. This is also something a lot of small stakes players do wrong. They see a fish open and then they call with pocket deuces. But in a live environment, maybe you can get away with it if you don't have squeeze happy players behind you, but not in online poker. Here, queen 6 offsuit is actually slightly too weak in the small blind to open, but I saw that the guy was 18-9 in the big blind, and therefore I thought I had pretty good chance to steal his big blind, and that's why I raised, and it worked. Okay, ace 10 off. Now here we're getting 3-bet. This is another one of those. Ace 10 off, definitely just a fold. Ten eight off. This time I will not open it here because we have a looser player in the big blind. And so it is a mixed frequency raise, which is why I then decided to just fold. So many limpers tonight. That's actually a really good sign. I've been saying a lot that games are dead on Pokerstars, but now they're actually not that bad. Okay, we're getting 3-bet by someone who has a very, very tight range there. Okay, so here, this is quite interesting. We're gonna go for the small c-bet. And here, I think I'm just gonna call. I can't fold to a 3-bet. Sadly, here on the left, we just get the fold. And he now goes third pot, which means I cannot fold against. Definitely not going to raise either. Here I'm going to isolate this guy fairly big. That's also something I have learned to do, just try to isolate bigger. Okay, so this guy now, I think we can get away with a small. This is actually too big. I am going to go just a 5th pot because he could have a hand like ace queen and then feel compelled to call, but he might have had the same hand as we do, which is great if we can get that one to fold, or he just had a complete bluff that he gave up on the turn. Okay, here ace 9, definitely going to check against a short stack player. And now when the king comes and the flush comes in, I'm not super happy either. Now he bets, bit over half pot, definitely going to call, nothing else to do. Ooh, here we have a big raise. Here we can check this one. Let's go 10.2. And what happened here? Didn't even see it. We won it, yeah, because, oh, he had the king. Okay, this is quite nice. I think I'm going to just check this one. He now bets half pot, definitely calling obviously with the overpair. And now we have kind of the nuts, so how much can we extract? I don't think we can go too big, but he might. What can he have? He can have the jack of hearts, potentially. I think I have to go quite big still, not super big. I don't really have the time to think about it. And he does call, excellent. What did he call with? He called with... Ooh, he had... Wow, well, we got lucky there in the end. He had the straight on the turn. And he called the straight here, which he shouldn't have done. But we got very lucky and yeah, happy with that result. Here, 6 deuce against someone who just doesn't like folding too much to 3 bets. I will just fold. Just want to check my stats for the 3 betting. 9%, that's just about okay. So yeah, I do like to 3 bet as much as I can if possible. maybe I should have 3-bet the 6 deuce then, if I'm just saying that. Queen jack suited, what a pretty hand under the gun. 9-7 off, definitely not calling. Okay, we're getting 3-bet and quite big by a tight player. Absolutely not going to continue my queen jack suited. So king 10 off in this position, cut off, definitely raising. Okay, we have a pretty good hand. We can c-bet, we can check. I am going to c-bet this one small because I can get him to fold a lot of things. This guy here, I am happy to 4-bet him with ace-8 suited. And what are we doing here? We are checking. And here we get it through the ace-8 4-bet against a very loose player. And now I am going to... I mean, a jack will always call. A 9 might also call. I will just give up here. Oh, and he only had ace high. Okay, did I make another mistake here? Not trying to be result oriented, although it's obviously difficult if he has ace high. But I think the reason why I thought I'd give up is that I didn't think that he would call with ace high, so my feeling was that he might have some pocket pair, although maybe even 6s or 7s or so might fold, so maybe it would have been good to actually go for the bet on the river, and actually even on the turn I should have just continued barreling. There was a mistake that was silly. Didn't lose a big pot, but it was still a mistake. So at the end of this play and explain, I will analyze the one hand where I had the pocket aces from earlier. I just want to see what the solver would have done there. So we're going to play for another 5 minutes or so, and then we will do that. Come on. We get raised. We could 3-bet. I am going to just call there though. And here this guy gets the non-crush attack. And we get quite a big bet, okay. Still having to call in position, second pair. Here we're getting 3-bet by a very tight player, obviously folding. Ace-4 offsuit. He now checks, that's a good sign. Probably doesn't have a very strong hand. Definitely checking behind though. No reason to bet there whatsoever. We don't need much protection, only the king really. And we can't get called by much worse. Now this is interesting now. This is such a broken line. I mean, he bet fairly big on the flop. Then he checked the turn. And now he overbets the river. And normally, I would kind of be tempted to call. But the thing is, I just don't think. I still think that it's just a weird line. And he's quite tight. So I am going to fold. At these stakes, I mean, the higher you go, the more you have to station these lines, but I feel like 25 NL, there's still a lot of trickiness going on, and I just think that, yes, this is not how he should have played it. If he has such a big hand, he should bet the flop big, the turn big, and the river big to get all the money in, but this is tricky. I don't know if I should ever 4-bet. This is another one that I will mark. I will fold now, but I'm just interested because I genuinely don't know King Jack off whether that is ever a 4-bet there. King 10. Okay, here we can isolate fairly big once again. And here, this one I want to review. Okay, Queen 10. Let's raise. Get a call. We get a pretty good flop. On this flop, I play either check or big bet. With this hand, definitely going for the big bet. Let's go not quite 2/3, but about 60%. Because we have two overs, which are not that great, admittedly, but we have a gut shot and a flush draw. So this would have been the combo draw that I would have got it in if he had raised me there. Well, I'm not saying I would have shoved, but I'm saying I would have the mindset of not folding if it got to be an all-in. Okay, so let's sit out on the next big blind. Folding here. Okay, King 10 suited is a hand that I can now, because it's suited, I'm happy to call the 1.2, which wasn't the case earlier when it was King 10 offsuit. Okay, this is interesting. This is a board that is not great like for us, but he, on the other hand, I think I will just fold here. If I had King 10 of hearts, I might peel, but here I will just fold. And this was my first fold to a c-bet. And we got like a couple more hands or so. Let's see, we can fold this one. Okay, last hand. Or do we get a bonus one? We do get a bonus, 5 deuce off. Now we're done, so let's just see how we did today. Pretty good, as expected. We ran very well, 180 something big blinds. Yellow line is even higher. Happy with the red line almost at 60, so that's all great. Let's just see my marked hands because I do want to copy this one, and let's go to GTO Wizard and upload. Something went wrong. Why does it look very empty? Let's try again. Okay, something did indeed go wrong. They don't like this. Okay, trying again. And unfortunately, GTO Wizard isn't working now, so hopefully next time again. Thanks for watching. Bye.